Yeah, thank you for joining this lesson. I'm directly going to share the paper tonight for our discussion. This is the paper that we're going to discuss, and today we shall be going directly to the section 2 of this paper. So it's my hope that you guys are going to get something from today's discussion. Number 17 in section 2, we read the question together. A trader deals in two types of rice, type A and type B. Type A costs 600 Kenya shillings per bag, and type B costs 420 Kenya shillings per bag. Part A of this question. The trader mixes 50 bags of type A with 30 bags of type B and sells the mixture at a profit of 20%. Calculate the selling price of one bag of the mixture. So here, we're going first to know the cost of a bag of this mixture after the trader has mixed. So we're going to have, look at this, 50 kilograms of type A, and each kilogram is costing 600. Not kilogram, but bag, sorry. 600. Then we add the 30 kilograms of B, and each is costing 420. Each is costing 420. That will be the total cost of the mixture. But now we are having only 50 kgs, only 50 bags and 30 bags. So we can know the cost per bag of this mixture, because from type A, we have 50 by 600. This gives us 30,000 plus 30 multiplied by 420. We get a total of 42,600. 42,600 is the cost of the bags, which are 50 of type A and 30 of type B. Therefore, the cost of the 80 bags mixed is 42,600. So if they are 80 bags, what is the cost of one bag? We divide by the 80 bags now in this mixture. So let me divide this one by 80. Guys, I'm getting 532 and 50 cents. Sorry for that interruption. Something is unstable on my screen. Let me check it. Then we'll be getting back. Remember our programs here as we just continue learning. For the candidates, we are having a mentorship program on mathematics. So for grade 9 learners, we will be doing every Saturday mathematics, 7:30 to 9 p.m. And for the Form 4s, every Sunday from 7:30 to 9 p.m. So please register with us so that we may continue learning together. Let me get back to this paper so that I see what the issue is. Yes, we are back. Let me check. Sorry for that interruption. We now continue. We are really sorry for the slight interruption. We had already worked out 600 times the 50 bags, then 30 bags times 420 each. Then because now this is the cost of 80 bags, we are supposed to divide this by 80 to know what is each bag costing. What is each bag costing? So let me now, okay, this was giving us a 532.5. I think we had worked out that. Now, this mixture is costing 532.50 per bag. But now this trader intends to make 20% profit. If they intend to make 20% profit, ladies and gentlemen, we're supposed to say now 100%, which is the cost price of a bag, is 532.50. Then now they need to make 20% profit. So this shall be 532.50 times 120, then over 100, so that you may get the selling price of 1 kilogram. Yeah, the selling price of 1 kilogram. So we multiply by 120 over 100. This is going to give us 639 Kenya shillings. 639 Kenya shillings. We're making this question tonight. This is the question I'm asking you tonight. Are you a subscribed member of Shifting Grades? Are you subscribed to our platform? Are you a subscribed member of Shifting Grades? Kindly subscribe, leave a comment here as we continue learning. Give us a comment. Let's know who you are. Let's know whether you're getting something, you guys, from this, and all shall be well. Thank you for waiting for the lesson to start, and now we are here. So today we are going to do more of the paper. I will not be talking too much through the comments, but I'll be reading them whenever I pause. Let's check part B of this. The trader now mixes type A with type B in the ratio X, Y respectively. The cost of the mixture is 528 Kenya shillings per bag. Determine the ratio XY, the ratio into which A and B were mixed. So the ratios are X and Y. Remember, X is costing 600 and Y is costing 420. But now we are coming with a mixture that's going to cost 528. This is an approach that you know, though I'm going to give the other working, but you can use this simple approach whereby you need to take the difference between 600 and 528. You give us the value down here so that you have 600 minus 528. This is 72. This is 72. You also do the same for the other side. You take 528. Look at this. You take 528 and you subtract 420 here. So let's talk about 108. So now with 108 and 72, we can now take the ratio in its simplest form. So XY equals to 108 is to 72. So now we can simplify this. Let me check by 12. Can 12 simplify? Yes. So XY by 12 we have 9, and 72 by 12 we have 6. So we can have further simplification. Remember, the mark on ratio is only earned by 3, 3, and by 3, 2. This is the final answer. This is where the answer mark is going to be awarded. It's good for you to remember that the answer mark on ratios is awarded when the ratio is the simplest. When the ratio is simplest, that is when we award a mark. So let that one be known, please, that a mark will not be earned unless. Thank you so much. Thank you for being around. Color paper 2 section 2 shall be uploaded. Thank you for the request. Okay, I had talked about an alternative working to this, and I think it's good we check it out. Or this is an alternative, not a continuation. We can say this, that we are having 600 multiplied by X bags plus 420 for B multiplied by that. This will be the cost of the mixture, but now we can divide it by the number of kilograms mixed, or the number of bags. The number of bags mixed, X for type A, Y for type B. So that now the resulting mixture will cost 528. At this point, we can do a cross multiplication, whereby we shall have 600X plus 420Y equals to 528X plus 528Y. Organizing or grouping terms together, when we take 600X minus 528, we shall get 72X. This is equal to, we talk about 528Y minus 420Y. That will give us 108, the value of Y. So at this point now, we can group terms in this manner, such that we have to remain with X there. We have to take 72 to this side. Remember, there is still Y there. Then X, for it to be divided by Y here, we're supposed to divide by Y through. So that now we remain with 108 and 72 at this point. If X over Y equals to 108 over 72, we can take the simplest ratio at that point now. By 36, we'll get 3, and by 36, we'll get 2. At that point now, we can say the ratio then, X is to Y, shall be 3 is to 2. Yeah, 3 is to 2. Shall be 3 is to 2, that way. X is to Y equals 3 is to 2. So those are both recommended methods. Those are both recommended messages. We can continue. Sorry for that slight interruption, but I hope you have understood the two methods there. It is my hope that you've gotten the two methods there. Okay, part C of this interesting setting. Very interesting part, and that is part C. 1 bag of the mixture in A is mixed with 1 bag of the mixture in B. The percentage of type A, in the new mixture. So this is what is happening now in this question. You know, we've not talked about the profit in the second mix. We are just having the cost as 528. Then the other one is costing. Let's look at the other one. The other one is having in the mixture in part A. We have two mixtures now, a mixture in part A, a mixture in part B. In part A, the trader mixes 50 bags of type A with 30 bags of type B. Therefore, we're supposed to know that we're supposed to know that 50 bags with 30 bags, if we simplify that ratio, then it would mean 50 going with 30, then it means every 5 is going with 3. Yeah, every 5 is going with 3. So we are having 5 is to 3, and the other one now is 3 is to 2. That way. Those are the ratios. 1 bag of the mixture in A. Let's check this now. When we mix these two, we'll be having 5 bags of A together with 3 bags of A in mixture 2. This is mixture in Roman 1. This is mixture 2. Let's call them 1 and 2. So if in the first mixture we have 5 proportions of A, in the second mixture we are having 3 proportions. Then we would say these are the proportions of type A that we have from both mixtures. But what about total proportions? Total proportions are 5, 3, 3, and 2. So this is going to be 8, 13. 8 over 13 multiplied by 100. This will give us the percentage of A, because A is having 5 bags from the first mixture, 3 bags from the second mixture. But how many bags according to the ratios now? How many bags are we having? Because this is second ratio. How many bags are we having? Total bags in total. So the percentage that goes to A shall be 8 out of 13. We make it now a percentage. This is going to be 61.54%. 61.54%. Though this is a question that can be done in a multiple of workings, which is still very okay. Number 18, a question on statistics. Remember that in KCSE, statistics is a topic that rarely misses in the exam. So expect statistics in KCSE, because in the previous years, statistics has been there. So why would it miss in 2025? Definitely it shall be there. So please prepare yourself for statistics. In the meantime, allow me start working out this question, and you will allow me to very quickly modify the table so that it is now vertical. That way, I'll be able to manipulate it very quickly and find the few things that we're supposed to find out as we approach this particular question. Yeah, as we approach this one, we need to manipulate the data in a given format. So first, we will begin with the classes, just as usual, whereby in the classes we are having the marks. Then we are having from 50 to 54, 55 to 59, 60 to 64, 65 to 69, 70 to 74, and finally 75 to 79. Then we have the frequencies F, the number of students scoring the marks. So 5, 8, 15, 10, 8, 4. That way. Those are the frequencies, yeah? Those are the frequencies. Now we need to get something called the midpoint of every value, so that we find the mean. So let's get the respective midpoints of these particular classes. With 50 and 54, the midpoint is 52. Because I'm getting the lower limit plus the upper limit, and I divide by 2. Same for 55 and 57. We are having 57. For 60 and 64, we are having 62, 67, 72, 77. Those are the midpoints. Now we need to get the deviation of each midpoint from the assumed mean, because we are told using an assumed mean of 62, calculate the mean mark. So we will talk about t, which is given by each midpoint minus the assumed mean. X is midpoint, capital A, assumed mean. And I hope we are together in that particular, up to that end. I hope we are together this far. So let's now compute very quickly the values of t from my calculator. I hope that you are also working out from that side. Through these, you will be able to tell when maybe a mistake is happening. But are you remembering our program here, whereby with the day scholar students who are candidates, those waiting for KJSR, those waiting for the KCSE, your program is ready. We're going to predict the exam up to the last minute. So please enroll 0704 15 3366. Reach out to us. The classes will be happening on Google Meet. Please reach out for registration. People are already registering. Remember, the slots are limited, so kindly reach out for your vacancy and all shall be well. The first value of t shall be, we take 52 and we subtract 62. Guys, I'm getting negative 1, 1, 0 that way. Then I take 57 and I subtract the same value. I get negative 5. 62, I get a 0. Then here I'll get 5, 10, 15. So those are the values of t. Those are the values of t. For me to get the mean, I'm supposed to get ft first. So what is ft? Let me find it out. Ft shall be each f, which is the frequency, multiplied by corresponding t, which is a negative 10. So I'm getting negative 50 at that point. Then 8 and negative 5, I'll get negative 40 at that point. Then 15 and 0, I'm getting a 0. 10 and 5, I'm getting 50. Look at what I'm multiplying, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what I'm multiplying. 10 and 5, frequency times t. Every frequency times the t. All right. So now we'll be having 10 and 8, 80. 4 and 15, is this 60? Yes. So after this, we should talk about the summation. We should talk about the summation of ft. Summation of ft. Summation of ft. Let me work it out. Let me work it out. Today the screen is a bit unstable. I don't know what's happening. I'll be checking on it later. I'll be finding out later. I'll be finding out. Negative 50, negative 40, plus 0, plus 50, plus 80, plus 60. This is exactly 100. So the summation of f of t is exactly 100. So now we will talk about Roman 1, which is mean. Mean is going to be given by the summation of f of t over summation of f. Then we add the assumed mean. So this shall be 100 out of 50 plus assumed mean 62. Yeah, 62 that way. Let me confirm before I just compute this. There is something small that I would like us to confirm. Are these additions of cumulative frequency giving us are they giving us, this is F, are they giving us 50 really? According to what the examiner says that this is marks for 50 students. So we can confirm whether they are 50. Start with 5, then we add the next 13, we add the next 28, 38, 46, 50. Very true. So we've come up with the CF cumulative frequencies column that way, and it is proved as, yeah, proving to us that we are right. That is it. Oh, I can see people already responding. 64. All right. So 100 over 50 will give us 2. Then we're already having an assumed mean of 62. So why not 64 then? Why would you think that the answer is something else? It is exactly 64. So thank you so much to those who are cooperating so much. Thank you to those who are cooperating so much in the live broadcast. Okay, we check the next question. We check the next. We need now to find the summation of. In the process of finding standard deviation, we must pass through what we call the variance. We must pass through variance. Ryan from Alliance Boys. Thank you so much, Ryan, for following up with our programs. I really appreciate and recognize you together with your school. F of t squared. So before multiplying by f, we are supposed to square t. Negative 10 squared becomes 100. That is the first t. Then now, after squaring, we multiply it by f, which is 5. So this gives us 500. We go to the next. The next is a negative 5 squared, 25. Now 25 should be multiplied by 8, giving us exactly 200. We go to the next, is a 0. Even if you square a 0, it remains a 0. And times 15, it shall remain a 0. It shall remain a 0. Then we go to the next. The next f is a 5. 25 multiplied by frequency of 10. That is a 250. The next shall be the next t squared, 100, because of 10. 10 squared gives us 100. Now we shall multiply this 100 by 8, giving us 800. And finally, 15 squared, 225. This should be multiplied by 4, giving us 900. So again, we take the summation of f of t squared. Summation of f of t squared. F of t squared. So this is summation of ft squared. Let's take this summation. 500, 200, 250, then 800, 900. I'm getting 2650. 2650. Then now we talk about now the variance and standard deviation. For us to get standard deviation, we need to get the variance first. And remember, okay, thank you, Francis from St. Paul's Boys. That is a Muranga. Thank you. All right, we need to take now summation of f of t squared out of summation of f. Then we subtract the summation of ft out of the summation of f, but this part alone squared. This will give us variance. For us to proceed and get standard deviation, we suppose now to take the square root of variance. The square root of variance. Therefore, I'll be having 2650 out of 50 minus 2, and 2 is now supposed to be squared. The reason I'm using 2 is because we've already worked out that part during the previous stage. So I'm taking this now over 50, and guys, I'm getting 53 minus 4. So when I subtract 4, I'm getting 49. This one is the variance. So standard deviation now shall be the square root of 49, which is exactly 7. I saw somebody saying 7, and I didn't know that it was the answer. That is so good. Thank you. Thank you for that. We are in part B of the same. Remember to remain very active and to also try it. We are being told to determine or to calculate the number of students who scored more than 68 marks. So for us to get this number, Vitengeni boys in Kilifi, Kurawa High School, that one is also in Kilifi. Thank you so much. For Mwangaza High School, thank you. Ibubi Girls, thank you. Hill School Girls in Eldoret, thank you. Nakuru Boys, thank you so much. Peter Kibukosia, thank you so much. The two new secondary, thank you. Thank you. Absa High School, thank you. We check now. What this standard deviation, not variation. 7. Thank you. Let's check this question. We need to calculate the number of students who scored more than 68. So we first check more than 68 marks. So let us check first where 68 marks lie according to this. So 68 marks, the class that we are interested with is this one. This is where 68 marks lie. This is where 68 marks lie. Sorry for that interruption, but we are back. Sorry for that interruption. Where 68 marks lie, I hope this thing is going to stabilize. I hope it is going to stabilize. I don't know what's happening tonight, but all is getting well. So for us to get these marks of 68, look at this. For us to get 68, we need to talk about the lower limit of that class. The lower limit of that class. No, the lower boundary. For this particular class, the lower boundary is 64.5. 64.5 plus a certain number which is not known minus the cumulative frequency before. So cumulative frequency before this class is 28. Before this class, 28. cumulative frequency of 28. We divide by frequency of this particular class. So frequency for this particular class is 10. The frequency of this class is 10. Then if that is 10, we should talk about now the class width. The class width here from 65 to 69 shall be 5 because of the boundaries subtracted. 69.5 upper, 64.5 lower. So we get exactly 5. So let's check n. We check the value of n. Mbaga girls, thank you. Kitui School, thank you so much. Wow, that's good, Alex from Kitui. Look at these now. We should have 68. We subtract 64.5. That's giving me 3.5 first. This is equal to n minus 28 out of 10. And we are having 5 here. So by 5, we can have 1, and by 5, 2. So that now we can do away with the 2 by multiplying by 2 on both sides. When we multiply by 2 on both sides, this shall become 7.0, and this is n minus 28. So that now we talk about the value of n being 28. When we add 7, we shall have 35. We shall have 35. So now we will say the students who have scored between 0 and 68 marks are 35. Between 0 and 68 are 35. But what does the examiner want? The examiner is asking for the number of students who scored more than 68. So we're going to take now the total number of students minus those who are between 0 and 68. And these people are 35. So the others who are 15 now are the ones who have scored more than 68. There are people who had already attempted, they had shared the answers on the comment section, and they are correct. So that is so good. Thank you for finding time to attempt. I like the spirit here. I like how you're following up so keenly. So thank you. Thank you so much. They have just confirmed my answer, or I'm the one who is confirming the answer because anyway, they did before me. So that is really an amazing job. Let's check in number 19. Please use the comment section to share your thoughts and to share your responses. We try it together. Those who are managing to do before the teacher, congratulations. Try it and submit your suggested answer, please. Try and surrender your suggested answers. We are told this in number 19. The 5th and the 10th terms of an AP are 60 and 65 respectively. Find the common difference and the first term. We're supposed to know this, that nth term is given by first term plus n minus 1, this multiplied by the common difference. Nico program, I'll be calling you later. Thank you. So when we talk about the 5th term, now we'll say this 5th term, which is 60. 60 is given by a known first term plus, because it is the 5th term, n is 5 minus 1, then multiplied by d. So this is first equation. Next, we would say, 10th term is 45. So 45 equals to the first term plus, this being the 10th term, n is 9. So n is 10 minus 1, which is 9. Then now times d. We have equation 1 and equation 2 because they satisfy the same arithmetic progression. we can subtract them, or other, we can eliminate A, so that we use what we are calling elimination method to solve this particular equation, which are simultaneous. So 60 minus 45, this is going to be 15. A minus A becoming a 0, and this becoming a negative 5, the value of D. So the value of the common difference now shall be 15 divided by negative 5, being negative 3. So the common difference is a negative 3. This is a decreasing AP, in other words. So the first term can now be found by saying that from equation 1, we need 60 minus 4 into the value of D, which is already determined. So this shall be 60 minus 4 into negative 3, and I'm getting 72. So the first term is 72. The common difference is a negative 3. Let me check whether some people had attempted that on our comment section. You know, there are people who are learning here and people are serious, I'm telling you. Don't follow us for fun, kindly. This is not an entertainment forum. Let people just try mathematics. We are here to polish our skills. There are those who know, and we are providing them with an avenue for them to explore and showcase what they know. So please just follow up. Please follow up. Thank you. People had already given their comments, and I really love that. So we can now have a continuation. We can do some continuation. Yeah, some continuation. So now that we have the common difference in the first term, then we can check part B. Determine the least number of terms of the AP, which must be added together so that the sum of the progression is negative. Hence, find the sum. The least number of terms that must be added together so that the sum of the progression is negative. Remember this. Just remember this. On the negative side, we may not know the first negative sum that you would get, but at least with the deviation here, or rather the common difference, which is a negative, we know that the progression is decreasing, and at some point we shall get to a negative sum. Then what should common sense tell us at that point? We're supposed to understand at that point that before we just transition from sum, which is positive, we are supposed to pass through 0. Therefore, let's get the number of terms that would give us a sum which is equal to 0. After we've gotten 0, now the next addition, automatically, the next term to be added will take us to the negatives because it is a decreasing AP. So we'll say we need a sum of 0 equal to, sum is usually given by n out of 2, then into 2 by a plus n minus 1 multiplied by d. So I'm supposed actually to put it as a formula first, then I proceed to the substitution. So the sum of a given number of terms is usually given this way. So we need the sum to be 0. We don't know these terms, which will give us 0. 2 should be multiplied by the common, by the first term. 2 times the first term, 2 by a. Yeah, 2 times a, that's a 72. Then plus unknown n minus 1 multiplied by the common difference of negative 3. At that point now, we'll be having 0 as n over 2 into 72 by 2. This should give us 144 minus 3n plus 3. Yeah, that way. We can do some grouping of terms here and say 0 equals 2, 147. All right. Yeah, 147. So we'll have n over 2, 147. I hope that is well computed. Minus 3n. Let's also know that we can multiply through by 2. 0 by 2 becomes 0. Then by 2 here it shall only be n, which can still open brackets. The n can open brackets, so that we have 147n minus, this is going to be 3n squared. All right, 3n squared, that way, yeah. We are proceeding. The question is very interesting. When I factor out n, I will be having 147 minus 3n. Okay. Let's now find out the value of n. N is equal to 0, or sorry, trying to get some space here. Okay, n equal to 0, or 3n equal to 147. The value of n shall be, we take 147 over 3. I'm getting 49. In case we add the first 49 terms, look at this interpretation now. In case we add the first one and the first 49 terms, we're going to get a sum of 0. That means now adding the 50th term is what will help us to transition to the sum of negative now. So the first few terms are going to have sum of positives. That is the first 48 terms. Then at the 49th term, we'll get a sum equal to 0. Then beyond there, sum will become negative. And this should lead us now to say that the least number of terms of the AP that must be added together so that the sum of the progression is negative is going to be 50. So the least n number of terms should be 50. That's logic. Should be 50. Now let's get the exact sum now, which is the first negative sum at the 50th term. At the 50th term. So we say this sum of the 50 terms now shall be n over 2 into 2 by a plus n minus 1 into the common difference of negative 3. This shall be 25 into 144 minus, because I'm multiplying by negative 3 everything, but this becomes a plus. Yeah. So 25 will now be multiplying these. Why am I using n? Yet I know the value. I don't know why I'm using n there, and I know the value. This is supposed to be 50 minus 1. 50 minus 1, which is 49. 49 by negative 3. Negative 147. Negative 147. That way. Negative 147 that way. Then now we have to proceed. We're supposed to proceed here. Uh-huh. 147 minus 147 giving us 0 by 25, 0. Does it mean we have two terms which are both giving us 0? Because from our working there, we got 49, meaning that 49 would have given a sum of 0. Yeah, 49 would have given a sum of 0. So does it mean once again, 50 will also give 0? Does it mean 50 would still give 0? Okay, let me check something here very quickly. Just going to compare something here. Yeah, let's bear with that. Or somebody has already worked out. I left people trying. Sum is a negative 75. Okay, so does it mean I did the wrong sum? Does it mean I did the wrong sum? Can we repeat it? But on 50 terms, we are together. We are together on the 50 terms. N over 2, 25 into 2 times A, 75 plus N minus 1 into D. N minus 1 into D. Actually, there is something here that I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where that 3 is coming from in my working and in my formula. I think I was doing a mistake there. Check here. Times negative 3. So now I'll be having a 49 by negative 3, which is 147. 147. So that we talk about 144 minus 147 negative 3. 25 by negative 3. This is equal to negative 75. Yeah, negative 75. That way. Very true. Thank you for those who have attempted and are correct. That is really amazing work. Part C. We check part C. Check part C now. The 50th term and the 10th term of the AP above form the first two consecutive terms of a GP. Determine the 6th term of the GP. What we're supposed to do here is to say the 5th term, which is now the first, the 5th term becomes the first. The 5th term, we gave it as, we were given as 60, then 45. 60 and 45 is the second term. That means if two terms are following one another in a GP and they are 60, then 45, then the next, it means the common ratio is supposed to be 45 over 60, which is the common ratio, 45 over 60, which is 3/4. 3/4. That is the common ratio. So for us to get the next term, we need to multiply 45 by the common ratio. Then we proceed until we get the 60th term, the 6th term. So actually, you're supposed to know something here that you can just multiply. You can just multiply by by the common ratio. One term you multiply by common ratio to get the successive term until you get the 6th term. But again, now that we are literate, we are educated, we know what we are doing, then it simply means that we can find using a formula. We can use the formula. I was checking whether the screen on that side is visible, and from my side, let me tell you guys, you are watching the best. Today our network is really amazing, very amazing. Are you reminded of this program, ladies and gentlemen? Are you a candidate waiting for KJSEA, waiting for KCSE? Kindly enroll to our program. It is going to be the best. Here we're going to interact via Google Meet. Here you'll be able to ask questions direct. You just raise up your hand, you put across your concern, and I'm going to attend to you. So please enroll to our powerful platform. Just enroll. Our number is attached, 0704 15 33 66. Please reach out. If you are a continuing student who is not a candidate 2025, we have the one-term ahead program from 10th of November to the 12th of December. We'll be covering 2026 term 1 work. So let people enroll. We are targeting the grade 7s, 8s, and 9s. Then we have also Form 3s and Form 4s. These are 2026 classes. So these ones now in 2025, they are the grade 6, 7, and 8, and also the Form 2s and Form 3s, respectively. They shall be going to the classes listed there. So please register to, again, this powerful platform, and you get to receive the best. We'll be covering content for the term 1 topics in the compulsory subjects. Not all the subjects, compulsory subjects. So please enroll and get the best from shifting grades. Thank you. Thank you for reaching out. Let's now proceed. Makweni girls, I'm really grateful. Somebody's already talking about the 6th term. Let's confirm it. Let us confirm it. You know, we're multiplying by a quarter through. So we can say in one approach, because we have 60, we can say 45. Then we multiply 45 by 3/4. We get that 3.75. Then we also multiply this by 3/4 again to get 25.3125. We multiply again by 3/4. We get 18.984375. Then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the 6th now shall be when we multiply this one by 3/4, and we get 14.24. Four significant figures are okay. 4 significant figures are very okay. So that's enough accuracy. Thank you for those who have attempted and are already correct. Thank you for those who have attempted and are already correct. We look at number 20. This is a question on linear programming. Very good question, which I believe you guys shall understand, or you've already worked out 10 week high. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. You can see those who are saying Ongera Mwalimu, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah, seriously grateful for that. We are 1 hour in the program and we are proceeding. 20A. A farmer wishes to grow 2 crops, potatoes and beans. He has 70 acres of land available for this purpose. He has 240 man days of labor available to work the land, and he can spend up to 180,000 Kenya shillings. The requirements for the crops are as follows. So we read that together. 1, the minimum number of acres to be sown. So we have potatoes 10 and beans 20. Mandays per acre 2, 4. Cost per acre in Kenya shillings 3,000, 2,000. Profit per acre 15,000, 10,000 respectively. Taking X to be the number of acres for potatoes and Y to be the number of acres for beans, form all the inequalities in X and Y to represent this information. So the number of acres, we have 10 and we have 20. So for potatoes, which are let to be X, minimum number should be 10. So X, which is the number of potato acres, X is supposed to be either 20, 10 or beyond that. 10 or beyond that. Then the other one, the number of acres, Y, for beans, should also either be 10, no, it's 20 for that case, 20 or beyond that. The least potatoes can be occupying is 10, so it can be beyond that. The least that will be occupied by beans shall be 20, so it can be 20 or beyond. Then something else that we're supposed to understand is that from the instructions here, we were told that this farmer is having 70 acres available. So when we pick these acres of potatoes and the acres of, they can either be 70 after taking the total, 70 or below that. They can't go beyond 70 when you add the two, because the maximum land owned by this particular farmer is only 70. So for both crops, we have a total of 70, meaning that the inequality is either greater than or equal to. Something else we're supposed to understand is that we have 240 Mondays. 240 Mondays. So the Monday per acre. When we pick 2 times the acres, when we pick 2 times the acres, 2 times the acres of potatoes, then 4 times the acres of beans, this can either be 240 or below. 240 or below. 240 or below. Yeah, 240 or below. We can check some more cost per acre. Cost per acre. So 3,000 times X acres plus 2,000 times Y acres. This can be either or below 180 Kenya shillings, because he is having 180 Kenya shillings to spend on this project. So when we take the amount spent on potatoes and the amount spent on beans, can either be 180 or something below that, because he can't spend anything that he doesn't have. But from what he has, he can even make savings. Yeah, that way. So these are the inequalities. These are the inequalities. We can simplify them. Yeah, we can simplify them before plotting them. We can simplify them. This one can become x plus 2y equals to 120. And this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the fifth one, the fifth inequality can also be simplified. We can check it by what? If we do this, ladies and gentlemen, if we do this by 1,000, it shall be 3x plus 2y less than or equal to dividing by 1,000, this becomes 180. 5. Yeah, 5 that way. That is the equation 5. So we have all the inequalities now, and we can proceed to plot them. We can proceed to plot them. We can proceed to plot them. The Cartesian plane has been labeled for us. So from the first one, we need to come up with border lines now to represent the inequalities. So x equals to 10. Line x equals to 10, and because of the nature of the inequality sample, it's supposed to be complete. It is supposed to be complete. So at x equals to 10, we do a line. At x equals to 10, we do a straight line, which is complete. A straight line which is complete that way. Then at y equals to 20, we do a line also. So it's the horizontal line. Those are two inequalities now already plotted. Then the third one, x plus y equals to 70. So y equals to 70 minus x, meaning that we can come up with a small table for that. When x equals to, let's say 20, then y shall be 50. When this is 30, then this will be 40, because we're supposed to subtract it up there. When this is 40, this is going to be 30. So we're having 20, 50. 20, 50. Here is the coordinate. 30, 40. Then 40, 30. Like that. Those are the coordinates. So we can join them using a very straight line to get the third inequality. For this time round, all the inequalities are supposed to be represented using complete lines. Oh, that way. That way, well plotted. We check now the fourth inequality. 2x equals to that. So how do we get x? Or let's just get y. How do we get y? 2y equals to 120 minus x. So y 120 minus x over 2. A small table of values. We can check when x is 0. What shall be y? 60. When x is 20, what shall be y? 100 over 2, 50. When x is 40, this is going to be 80 over 2, which is also 40. So 0, 60, 20, 50. 0, 60, 20, 50. Then after 20, 50, we can have 40, 40. Let me check. 40, 40 is here. So we do the straight line. We do a straight line at that point. Let me draw it. A very smooth straight line to represent the fourth inequality, so that we go to the last. Yeah, we go now to the last inequality, which is here. And remember, this inequality was simplified this way. The fifth one. Now the fifth one says, which is here, three x plus 2y equals to 80. When we make it a borderline, equals to 80. So we can have making it a line, or we can just use 2 points. When x is 0, what will be y? When x is 0 and we substitute it at this point, we get to y equals to 80. So this becomes 90. When y is 0 and we substitute here, we will get 3x equals to 180. So this is 60. 0, 90, and 60, 0. 0, 90 means this point. That's 0, 90, then 60, 0. Okay. Yeah, 60, 0. 60, 0. I'm not plotting it at the right point. 60, 0 should be here. Now I want you to let me repeat the line here, which was y equals to 20 that way. Then now I join (90) and 60 in those coordinates. Wow, that way. So after this now, I am supposed to check. I'm supposed to check the region which has been satisfied by the 5 borderlines. A region which is shielded by all the borderlines, and that is here. So this time round, I'm shading the region and not the lines. Shading the required region. This is the region which has been shielded by all the lines. So that is it. A very good one. Yeah, a very good one. So it's my hope that you've seen how we've moved at that point. It's my hope that you've seen how we've moved in such points. Okay. Then we proceed now to determine the maximum profit. Maximum profit. For us to determine the maximum profit, we should check the profit per acre. So we have 5,000 from X and 10,000 from Y to give us the maximum profit. This one we call it the objective function. Objective function. So with the objective function, we can draw what we call such line. 15,000. Look at this. We talk about 15,000 x and 10,000 y to give us the objective function. Now this objective function can be simplified to give us a such line. For us to get a such line, we need a y-intercept of the value at x, 15,000, and a y-intercept, x-intercept of the value at y. The y coefficient becomes x-intercept, 10,000. So we can simplify for us to get a realistic value depending on our scale. This can even be narrowed down to 15 and 10. Yeah, 15 and 10. We plot 15 and 10. 15 and 10. Yeah, 15 and 10. So for 15 and 10, or we could have, yeah, 15 and 10. 15 and 10. Where is 15? This is 10. 12, 14, 15 is there. Then 10 is already here. So when I join that, I'll be having the such line. This is what we call such line. That's what we call a such line. It's a such line. So we're supposed to slide the such line. We slide the such line into the region. Then we see the last coordinate that we shall encounter. The last coordinate that we shall encounter, and it is within the region, and that's automatically going to be this one. This is 40 and this is 30. 40, 30. Yeah, 40, 30. 40, 30, which means 40 by 15,000 per acre and 30 by 10,000 per acre. This will give us maximum profit. 50 into 15,000 plus 30 into 10,000. So I'm getting, I don't know whether I'm multiplied the right thing. 40 into 15,000 plus 30 into 10,000. I'm getting exactly 900,000. That's our maximum profit. Maximum profit. Remember our consultation line 0704 15 33 66. 15 33 66. A bag contains 6 red, 4 white, and 5 blue balls. 2 balls are drawn at random from the bag, one at a time without replacement. Part A. Represent this information in a tree diagram. Represent this information in a tree diagram. So we're supposed to come up with a tree diagram whereby we're just going to analyze this information and have it, yeah, we just analyze it. We just analyze it. I'm checking what you guys are doing here. Thank you for remaining around even as we conclude today's session. Okay. You make math, Oisi. Thank you so much. Kisumu, thank you. Change your attitude. Okay, I hope your own agreements there. All right. Thank you. Look at these. I want to show you how to come up with a probability tree diagram without struggling. A bag contains 6 red, 4 white, 5 blue. How many options are those? How many options are those? 3 options. So we begin with the branches like that. Red, white, blue. 6 out of 15, the total. Are they 15? Check what I've added there. 6, 4, and 5. Yeah, 10, 5, 15. That's 4 and 15. The probability of picking blue is 5 out of a total of 15. You should be having the branches, then the probabilities alongside. The probabilities are written alongside the branches that way. The outcomes at the end of the branch, probabilities alongside the branch. I don't know whether the paper is so clear as it is on my side. I don't know. I don't know whether it is so clear as I can see it because I can monitor the presentation. It is so clear. Look at this now. When you've chosen red, there are other possibilities. You can further choose red, you can choose white or blue. Now, after picking red again goes down to 5. And because you didn't replace, remember the instructions say without replacement. So the probability for red goes down to 5 and the total has also gone down to 14. The next now shall be 4 over 14, then 5 over 14, that way. We check the next. We can have red, white, blue. Now, if we had picked white, picking white again, if the probability previously was 4, it now becomes 3, and the total 14. Then these other ones still 6 over 14, 5 over 14. Finally, we can talk about red, white, blue. If you had picked a blue, picking another blue goes down to 4. This now becomes 14. These ones remain 4 over 14. Then here 6 over 14. The outcomes have been well placed. We are already through, but I usually advise students now to assemble all the probabilities at the end of the branches, such that we have R followed by R. The next is R and a W, R and a blue, white, red, white, 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 blue, can have blue, red, blue, white, blue, blue, that way. So we've listed all the outcomes at the end of each branch that way. Check now the questions. Part B, use the tree diagram to find the probability that the second ball drawn is red. The probability that there is a red at the end. It can be, look at this, we want the second being red. It can be red after red. It can be red after a white. It can be red after a blue, as long as it is red at the end. So probability red, red, or probability white, then red, or probability blue, then red. We just need those possibilities, all of them. Red, red means 6 over 15 times 5 over 14, or means addition. white, which is 4/15, then red, which is 6/14, or means addition. Once again, addition. It could be first blue, so 4/15, then red, which is 6/14. 6/14. Please confirm my values. I hope you guys are still holding your calculators. Help me to confirm this computation. 6/15 by 4/14 that way, or means addition 4/15 times 6/14, or 5/14 6/14. No, the first 5 is over 15 times 6/14 that way. So I'm getting 2/5. I don't know what your calculator is telling you. 2 out of 5. Thank you. 2/5. There are some people with the same answer as mine. Very true. 2/5. From your comments and also on the board, we're having 2/5. I like those people who are very accurate. I like that. Check Roman 2. The two balls are of the same color. When we say the same color, it could be probability, red and red, or probability, white followed by white, or probability, a blue, then a blue. Those are the chances when the two are of the same color. So we need probability red, red. Remember, picking red initially is 6/15. So we'll be having 6/15, and picking this one again, 5/14. Or white ones were 4 initially, so we'll talk about 4 out of 15, and in the next 3/14, or means addition 5/15 for blue, then 4 out of 14 for the second time. Those are the probabilities. So we begin again, and I hope you guys are multiplying 6/15 times 5/14 plus 4 out of 15 times 3/14, then finally 5/15 and 4 out of 14. This is going to be 31/105. 31 out of 105. Or maybe the person I thought was wrong was giving an answer for part 2 when we were doing part 1. And that is really great work. Thank you. Thank you for that. I can see people are through. That is great. Thank you. Thank you. Remember to subscribe to this platform. Remember to share the link with your friends. Please remember to share the link with your friends so that we may continue learning with them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can see you guys are really following up at Roman 3. And because I can see you are still joining, are you reminded of this program such that if you are in Form 4 and you are a day scholar during Term 3, we shall be having very healthy interactions as we continue predicting the KCSE 2025 and also the KJSE 2025, purely mathematics. Every Saturday, 7:30 to 7:30 to 9, the KJSE students, and every Sunday from 7:30 to 9, we'll be having the KCSE students purely for mathematics. So kindly reach out. The interactions will be on Google Meet. On Google Meet, there is a lot of interaction, unlike in YouTube, whereby there You can unmute, you can respond to questions. Yeah, you can ask questions where you don't understand, and such interaction, which ensures, that you guys get the best. So please remember to reach out for the same. No white is drawn. Probability no white. No white is drawn. So probability no white. This is one case. No white there. Another case, no white. Another case here, no white. And another case here of no white. So we just ignore the chances where probability was chosen. Yeah, probability is chosen. So red, blue. Let me work it out here so that I don't waste a lot of time. We need the first case here, which is 6/15 and 5/14, or the next is red and blue, 6/15, then 5/14, or the next is at this point 5/15, which is blue, followed by red, 6/14, or finally 5/15 and 4/14. Yeah, those are the cases where no white was chosen. Probability no white is drawn. Probability no white. So let's now work out this. My guys with calculators, please. We work very fast together. Very fast, very fast. Don't rush too much. You might end up computing the right thing. Just be moderate. 5/15 times 6/14. Finally, 5/15 by 4/14. I'm getting 11/21. I don't know your case, and I didn't say that I'm the only person who is right. Remember, I can still make a mistake as we continue working out all this. I can still make a mistake, but all in all, yeah. I'm checking that. 11/21. Then people are writing 11/21 just like me, and it means we are both accurate. Very accurate people. Thank you. Thank you for that. That is really very amazing work. Very amazing work. So this one we've done 11/21. And finally, at least one ball is blue. Now, when we say at least one ball is blue, it means this. At least there is a blue. So it can either be one or more, but at least we see a blue. At least there is a blue. At least one. So it can be one or both. So all the cases where blues are there, that's what we want. At least a blue is chosen. And I can see members are increasing. I don't know, you wake up when other people are sleeping or what the issue is. Anyway, ensure that you're commenting. Let's know your views. Let's see your responses. Let's see your answers, please. Just be active. Just be active. Don't be an online backbencher, please. It is very funny to have backbenchers even online. Kindly follow actively. Kindly follow actively. At least one is blue. So the cases with blues, one is here. At least there is a blue there. Another one is here. At least there is a blue here. Then others now here. At least there is a blue. All these ones now are having blues. At least there is a blue. So the first case should be probability, red then blue. 6/15, then blue 5/14. Or where else do we have a blue? Here, white, which is 4/15, followed by a blue. White followed by blue is let me check it out. Followed by blue means 5/14, or blue, then red 5/15, then red 6/14, or we can have 5/15 followed by white 4/14, or 5/15 followed by blue 4/14. This way. This is what we're going to compute. The cases where a blue is featuring, that's what we wanted. And we've outlined and given them out. So let me start now with 6/15 multiplied by 5/14, or means addition 4/15 multiplied by 5/14, that way. Or we talk about 5/15 multiplied by 6/14, or 5/15. We can't start with 14. 5/15 multiplied by 4/14, or finally 5/15, this multiplied by 4/14. Yeah, that way. So I'm having 4/7. I don't know what you have on that side. I'm having 4/7 for my case. 4/7 for my case. Does it mean you guys are faster than Mwalimu wa Math? Very good work. Very interesting work. Yeah, very interesting work. And I like that. Can we do one more before we sleep? Can we do one more before we retire? This is on... yeah, let's try one more, please. Trigonometry. We can end here. I know time has gone. People are tired. But you can try one graphical work, please. It's always good to know that you will find graphical work in mathematics paper 1 and paper 2. And it's good to know that the graphical marks are just free marks, which you can pocket very conveniently. Very easy marks to score. Very easy to score. We have x, then sine of 2x is given there. So sine of 2 times 0 is already 0 provided. Sine of 2/15 is given. Actually, the gap is only at 60. So sine 2 multiplied by 60, and that is 0.87. 0.87 that way. The next is at 105. So the sine of 2/105, this is going to be negative 0.5. But now, because of the examiner's instructions, we add another 0 at 135. So the sine of 2/135, I'm having negative 1. So it should be 1.00. We have at 180. So the sine of 2/180, this is exactly 0, but we write it as 0.002 dp. The instructions are supposed to be adhered to. We adhere to the instructions to the letter. Please never ignore instructions on accuracies. It won't be. Yeah, you stick to instructions of accuracy. The next one, 2 multiplied by the sine of x minus 30. So we're supposed to know that in the first case, we are having a 0 minus 30. Then we do the cosine of this 2 cos of this value, which is positive 1.73. Then we proceed now. We start by 2, the cosine of, you open brackets, 15 minus 30, you close brackets, negative 1.93, no, positive 1.93. We proceed to 60. 2, the cosine of, you open brackets, 60 minus 30, we close, we having 1.73, 1.73. Then we go to 105. So 2 cos, you open brackets, 105 minus 30. This is going to be 0.52. 52. That way. We go to 135. 2, the cosine of 135 minus 30. And this is negative 0.52. Yeah, that's it. Imagine we have filled the table. Thank you for following. We are through with the table. And after that, 2 marks are already pocketed. So we proceed to use now the table in coming up with something here in part B. On the grid, draw the graphs of y equals to the sine of 2x and also y equals to 2, the cosine of x minus 30, between 0 and 180. We use a scale of, this is for the x-axis, 1 centimeter for 15, but for the y-axis, 1 centimeter for 1 unit. Let's check that. Allow me zoom the grid so that I may manage it so well. That way, x-axis, y-axis. So we start with 0. For y-axis, we've been told 2 centimeters to represent 1 unit. So we'll have 1 here, then 2 there. And on the lower side, negative 1, according to the instructions, negative 2. It's good to follow instructions. Very good to follow instructions. More so, when the scale has been provided, kindly don't choose yours. When the scale has not been provided, you can choose a suitable one for yourself. But in a case like this, where scale has been provided, please don't choose your own things. Okay, we are talking about now 15, 30, 35, 45. 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120, 135, 150, 160, after 150 you go to 165, yeah, then 180, that way, 180, that way. So I might be using very small numbers, but please listen to me very carefully. I'm mentioning everything that you need. That is the interpretation of the scale. Now we can now plot. Allow me plot using black for the first curve. I'm using a black. So 0 and 7, 1.7. 0 and 1.7. So 0 and 1.7. That's what 1.7 is. Then 15 and 1.9. 15 and 1.9. That is the point. 30 goes with, okay, this is the second curve. Yeah, we are dealing with this one first. Sorry for that. Dealing with this one first. Then 30 and 2. 30 and 2. 45 and 1.9. Then 60 and 1.7. 75 1.4. 75 1.4. 90 goes with 1. Exactly 1. 105 goes with 0.5. 120 goes with exactly 0. Then 130 goes with negative 0.5. Here we have 150 that will go with negative 1. 165 that goes with negative 1.4. So 1.4 shall be here. And at 180 we will talk about negative 1.7. Negative 1.7. Yeah, that way. So we have everything plotted. Ours is now to join so that we come up with the curve. Yeah. So I join using a very smooth curve. Using a very smooth curve. A very smooth curve. This is what I expect in your paper, in the KCSE. I'm going to translate a certain quote for you. It's good for you to do some good work sometimes. There is a quote in our mother tongue that says, good handwriting as marks even when you are wrong. It's a quote. So it's good to know that decent work is appealing. You don't know what you might earn just by making your work very appealing, as I have done in that particular curve. The second one, which is now our first in this case, 0 should go with 0 for the second curve. I'm plotting it now very fast. Then we are talking about 15 and 0.5. We are talking about 30 and 0.9. 30 and 0.9, just below 1. 45 and 1.9. 1.0, sorry. Exactly 1. 60 and 0.9. 75, 0.5. 90, 0. 90, 0. 105, negative 0.5. Negative 0.5. 120, negative 0.9. 135, negative 1. Then negative 0.9 at 150. Negative 0.9, so at a point there. At 165, we are having 0.5. 0.5. Then finally, we are having 0.00 at 180. 0.00. So you see, again, a smooth curve is already suggesting itself here. Allow me to use this particular color here. I almost wanted to say green. but I remember I don't know the name of this color. Look at these. Look at that. Very smooth curves. So the two of them have already been plotted. The two curves have been plotted. The two curves have been plotted. So the first one was 2, the cosine of x minus 30. Then the first one is sine 2x. The one ending is sine 2x. Now we go to the question. Use the graph above to solve the equation 2x sine 2x equals to 2, the cosine of x minus 30. These are the two functions plotted. So it means we are finding where the two curves are meeting, and that will give us x. The two curves, where are they meeting? They are meeting at just before 150. Just before 150. So if 15 degrees are represented by 5 units are representing 15 degrees, then 1 unit is representing 3 of them. 1 is representing 3, so that 5 may represent 15. So if 1 represents 3, then it means 3 is at 147. Just before 150, we have 147, where the two are meeting. Look at the second one. Determine the difference in amplitude of graphs. Y equals to the sine of 2x and y equals to 2, the cosine of. Difference in amplitude means the first amplitude is 1 and the second amplitude is 2. The amplitude is the highest where the curve can go up to. So the first one is going up to 2. The second one is raising only up to 1. So the difference should be 2 minus 1. The difference in amplitudes is 2 minus 1. One amplitude minus the other one. We get 1. Then we are also advised to solve a Roman 3 here, which is a cosine of x minus 30. Cosine of x minus 30 equals to negative 0.4. Look at the functions plotted. You discover that we didn't plot such a curve. But in case we introduce 2 here, you discover this becomes 2. The cosine of x minus 30 equals to negative 0.8. I've introduced 2. That means the right hand side becomes a negative 0.8. Negative 0.8. So now we're supposed to go to this particular curve, then we check where negative 0.8 is. Negative 0.8 is, and we work with that. So 0.8 is at this point. Then we check what value of x is giving us such a value of y. Yeah, we draw like that. We draw like that. Negative 8. Then we check the function of our interest is this one. So we read the value here now. 144. X equals to 144. 144. That way. 144. So that is it. Be reminded of our programs here before you exit the meeting. We're going to be mentoring the candidates this year. Out of experience, you can be sure that whatever we'll be discussing is something worth it. So kindly reach out for the program. And remember, if you are a continuing student, that in term 3, in the December-November holiday, we'll be having a very serious program here whereby we are covering the term 1 work of 2026. So we'll be one term ahead. Please remember to enroll, invite a friend to our platforms. Our number is already attached, 0704 15 3366. Thank you so much for turning up. Remember to subscribe to this platform and also to share the link with friends.